Okay, so that's noted. If functions. Any other person? Okay, another person. So in the if series, when I say if series, I mean if and the if function, the count if, sum if, and then the ifs, count ifs, and sum ifs. We've looked at count if, we've looked at sum if and the ifs. We looked at if. I think what we're yet to look at average, average if, average ifs, and then the ifs function. Of course, it's common. Should I am I permitted to say it's common sense? If we follow the logic, we'll be able to figure out the what do you call it? The ifs function. Not the if, sorry, the average if per se. But we'll look at them together again. But before we get into that, let's do something together. So I want to point out something for this class. Now, my my aim and how I envision this class, I'm trying to like do try some, should I say, unorthodox ways, if I am using the right words, but some I'm trying to, besides teaching you formulas and functions and all, I want us to be pretty practical and hands-on and real world, have some real um world experiences, right? Is that the word? Yeah, some yeah, real world experiences and practical experiences, right, on application of data analytics. And that would help expand our understanding. So while it was, I'm so narrowing down to the survey we did, we're going to look at it together for starters. While it was good feedback to have, it was also important. I mean, let's get our hands pretty much busy in this learning. So I've moved them to share my screen right now. Please confirm you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I had given an assessment. The post came out for feedback on the studies and learning so far. And as data analyst interns that we are, we're tasked with we're tasked with what do you call it? Making recommendations for this company, this training company. Like it was, TeamTech is an IT consultancy and training company. It recently conducted a survey for its trainees in a data analytics training class. I mean, this was literally real life. Now, using the data from the above posts, organize the data and come up with recommendations for team tech to improve its services. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look at this data together and then let's discuss. Now, do you remember the data analytics process? The data analysis process rather. So there's a task, you have a project, or you're asked to analyze some data sets. First of all, what is the data analysis process? Who can help? The first thing is to understand the context of the analysis you want to carry out. Ask, understand the scope of the work. Once you understand the scope of work, that's what is expected of you. The next thing to do is to collect data. Okay. Now, understanding the scopes, the ask from the tags that was given, you'd have sufficient information for that, for the ask aspect of it. All right, describing the problem, or they conducted a training, they want insights from the data. So data collection was the pole. So we had done the data collection, we understand the objective, we've done the data collection through the polls. Now the next thing is what? Who can help? After acts, you prepare data collection. Yeah. What's the next thing? Anybody?
Collating the data then.
Okay. Data collation, data preparation, data transformation. Some of cleaning the data, arranging data, collating the data, perfectly put. Yeah. So we collect the data and we analyze and give our conclusions. I think about four people got the work done. I didn't expect anything extraordinary. I just wanted to understand our train, our thought process. Okay? Yeah. So I encourage everybody to still do this, but let's look at this together. So this is about critical thinking and analytical thinking. So I would want I would love it if as much as possible we can participate in this session together. Now, let's look at this. The first question was learning progress. How confident do you feel about understanding the concept of data analysis? Yeah, with one being not confident, five being very confident. So the concept of data analysis, how would you understand it? So we have six people on the floor. Let's call this confident, and then five people, seven people very confident. That's that's some good insight. What does that tell us? That a great deal of people understand the scope, understand what we are doing here. Maybe they understand the what, they don't understand the how yet. Or we're going to find out if they understand the how as we go further. It's important for you to, understand the purpose of a thing, right? If purpose is not known, um, yeah, that's a problem. So next, we have how well do you understand the purpose of functions like count, sum, count, average, trim, sum if, count ifs, etc. And here we have some good ratings, right? Four, five, confident, very confident, pretty nice feedback. Now, how comfortable are you with the basic Excel formulas, addition, subtraction, multiplication? Still 4-5, really good feedback. People are learning. So moving to the next, do you find the explanations of each topic clear and easy to follow? On a scale of 1 to 5. Explanation of the topic clear and easy to follow. Oh, pretty good feedback. Funny enough, I hadn't exactly gone through this feedback. So 4 and 5. So we have very high ratings, right? Pacing. How would you rate the pace of sessions? Everybody goes for just all right. Oh, I'm surprised about this. But okay. Now, how confident are you in using some ifs and count ifs to analyze data? Okay, we have a 4 and 5, and then we have one person on a 3. Okay, so we'll just do an overview and then we'll come back to it. Um, reason together. Now, the next question is, how effective are the examples in helping you understand the concepts? We have a 3, 4, 5. So we have one person on the 3 at an average level, and we're not doing average here. So we have 4 and 5. Okay, and are there enough exercises and examples in each session? I really loved this particular one where we had a near equilibrium in the divide. Some people are on a yes and some people are on a no. Then lastly, how satisfied are you with the course so far? We have 2 people on a 3 on the average. Okay. And then we have 4 people. We have 7 people rather on the 4 and 2 people on a 5. Nice. So pretty good feedback. Now let's reason this together. So looking at this, these are pretty good ratings. Um, in this question now, okay, so I think for 4 and 5 ratings, especially when we have a whole lot of numbers there, it's quite a comfortable place to be. So we can put some checks for this. Okay. But when it comes here, pretty interesting. Do you find explanations of each topic clear and easy to follow? So we have 11 people on a 5, and then we have one person on a 4. What would we do in this case? Or what would be our conclusion? Anybody? What do you think? Please, the floor is open to the brains.
Sorry, are you asking which we will take between the two responses?
No, no, no. I'm asking what you would do in this situation. You are told to analyze this data. You are told to, or we are told to analyze this, yes, data we've gathered to help Team Tech Analytics make informed decisions. So we're told to get insights and give recommendations. After all, that is what data analysis is all about, right?
Yes.
Getting insights from data to help um, maximize profits or improve a system, sort of. Yeah. So the goal here is to improve the service being rendered by from the feedback we're getting from our customers, right? So looking at this data, what would be the recommend? So I said earlier, okay, these other ones they look pretty good because yeah, they tilt towards like a good number tilts towards the very confident and confident, very confident, above average, right? Um, it's the normal distribution scale. But coming here, yes, coming here, we see the same thing, but what can we make out of this? Of this? Like, I mean, you could pick up any of these three and give your insights. Remember, data
Well,
analysis is all about
in
critical thinking, analytical thinking, all that. So that's the goal for this exercise. Yeah, you're saying something. Forgive me.
I think in my case, I would say I would focus more on the majority vote. Since there's just one outlier, it means that the majority of the or the pace in which you are going, according to the not pace, the explanations you are making is is convenient for most people on the group. Hence, most of the customers seem to appreciate the way it is going. And then there's one outlier. So I think our streamline processes to cater to the um, majority vote rather than overhaul the processes to cater for the outlier and should I say slow down or um, not please the majority vote.
Okay, thank you. Good insights. Any other person?
Okay,
Yes.
so just to add up to what he has just said,
Okay.
from my end, I'm looking at
Yes.
because this data is actually trying to give us an insight whether or not the processes are effective
Yeah.
or is not effective, right? So
Yeah.
looking at this subject here, do you find the explanations of each topic clear and easy to follow? So with this data now at the first slide, I would say that yes, the recommendation would be that yes, the company or the organizations or the IT company should continue the process because from the data we gather, it shows that the way they are going is actually okay, and the people are following and they are understanding what is happening there.
Okay.
So the recommendation here will be that we have to follow the same process because it's working for us. Yeah, that would be my recommendation at the first slide. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Please forgive me for narrowing down to this particular survey, this particular yeah, survey or question. If you can relate to any of them, like you can have all of them like together and if you want to comment on any other one, please, the floor is very open. So more insights. Please, there is no wrong answer, so to be nice for everyone to attempt. Yes, please, James. Sure, shoot.
Good evening, everyone. Sir, for the please, I'll go to the first slide.
Okay.
Okay, I think it should be the third slide.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Are there enough practice exercises and examples in each session?
Okay.
Yeah, going with this data we've collected, I think it's a 40-60 um, case here. So I think for from what I've seen here, okay, what is there is the examples and the practice exercises are not enough for almost half of the people that are consuming the service. So what should be recommended is more examples and practice exercises should be done during practice sessions.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very, very good feedback. Yeah. However, it is more or less like a 45-55%, not a 40-60. But yeah, don't mind me. I had to use the calculator to figure that out. Imagine was pretty much too close to be a 60-40. Yeah, is your hand still up? You want to say something again? Okay, no.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sure.
Sir,
Yeah.
my recommendation, I did not do it one by one though, because since morning I've been battling with low network.
Oh,
I
okay.
used 9 minutes to, and the recommendations, I just did everything together
Oh, no,
into
no
one.
issues. You can do it again and send.
Okay, sir.
Mm. Okay, so more feedback. Yes, AD, please. AD, floor is yours. Ah, could it be network? Making unable to unmute. Um, well, okay, AD is not unmuting, maybe network. So maybe I'll call names because I want everybody to attempt this. Yeah, so Dami, let's hear from you.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Evening. Hi.
Yes, so from the
Your voice is quite low. I don't know. Can you help?
data collected from the polls,
Yeah.
yes, we can see that the delivery of the service for the lectures or the lessons have been very good because I think in most of the polls, the highest votes come on the grade 5. So for most of them. So I think the delivery of the lectures and the service has been very good. So about recommendations, I think the only one that has is this um adequate number of exercises and examples for each session. So it's it's a it's almost equal for yes and no. So I think that's where recommendations for improvement would come in. Number of examples for each session. Yeah,
Okay. So more examples. Why? Oh, sorry. Why did you make the decision for more examples?
because the votes are like kind of split, so it's
Okay.
fair to say that half of the class do not agree to enough examples for each session. So
Okay. Dami, thank you very much.
yeah,
Very, very good insights. Okay. Remember the goal, everybody. The goal was using the data above, like it was a data-driven insights recommendation, not just, oh, if you remember our first class, we said um, um, data analysis is not by impressions, it's not by feelings, the way you feel, right? It's about facts. So using the data and the collection of facts, making insights. Okay, so lesson, let me hear you. I have like three blessings in my class and I am seeing just one. Blessing, are you there? Muted. Okay, so I wouldn't want so much drag. Okay, Eddie, if you can unmute now, that would be great. Your hand is up.
Hello,
Okay,
good evening, everyone.
nice. Good evening, Eddie.
Sorry, sorry, sir. My network is terrible. So,
Sorry
sir,
about this.
on this first slide where you said how effective are the examples in helping you, you,
Oh,
it's not that one.
okay, this one, yeah.
Yes. How effective are the examples in helping you understand the concepts from the ratings? I think um, something is going to. There are some things we need to adjust here because if you observe the examples we've been battling or we've been tackling are sales data. So when this came up, this is a practical life situation we saw, and it was a problem for some of us to tackle because I was practically looking at my system. I couldn't come up with anything because I think we were stereotyped to a particular kind of data, which is sales data.
Okay,
That's my that's my opinion. So when this came up, I'm not talking for everyone. I can say for myself, it became an issue for me to comprehend. So I think
okay,
so I think to the company, a broader examples outside sales data needs to come in to
okay.
expand people's view on this. That's my take.
Hmm. Thank you very much, Eddie. That is some insight from the inside. Yeah, so still boils down to emphasis on examples, on practice exercises and examples, diversifying that. Okay, great. So there's an ITEL A665L. I don't know who that is. It's going to be a challenge asking. Okay, so I'll just take one more from Sammy and we'll look into this and then conclude. Mr. Samuel.
Can I pass on this one, please?
Oh, okay. You pay passing fine. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, thank you everybody for your. Sorry, lastly, does any other person have a contribution? Forgive me. Anybody? Five, four, three, two, one. Okay. So yes, you've all said very well and spoken factually, and that's what, and I love that. It's important to pay attention to details. It's important to like really connect the dots. And it's also important to look at trends. So I'm going to give my contributions, right? Now, if you observe this person using maybe the DP as the identifier, if you look at the polls from the first one, you notice that this person has like appeared hasn't had any optimal experience, any 5 rating. So you have the person here on 4. How confident are you with count ifs and some ifs? The person is on 3. And then how examples 3. Examples enough. Yes. And how satisfied are you with the course so far? Person is on 3. Yeah. So, like Resame had mentioned, this is more or less an outlier. If you notice, so we've seen a trend where this is an unsatisfied client. Now, a recommendation to TeamFake would be to drill down to this particular client of theirs to really understand what the challenges are. Apparently, one could tell that if the divide is like if most people are going for positives and this person is either average or negative, then it must be a personal issue, right? Yes. And the idea of the company is to carry everybody along. So it would be right to like reach out to this person and know what exactly the challenges are. Is the person having network issues where the person is, or light issues, or does the person have another methodology, another piece of studying or of learning, just to understand the person's challenges on a personal level, right? So an outlier should be treated as such. If there's an outlier from the normal trend, from the normal distribution curve, you would want to isolate it and understand what the challenges are so that you could help make make help align this person or this client to help meet your company goals. I don't know if that makes sense. So that's one. So here, comparing all the trends, one saw that this person just isn't a happy customer, right? So it wouldn't be bad. So there's, I mean, this how satisfied are you with the course so far is more of a summary of everything that comes up and all. And you see that people are satisfied, but not very satisfied. Just two clients are very satisfied. However, the majority of people are just satisfied. So, to improve this, we would have to look into the concerns where we had a great deal. Like everybody said, most people said, we had a whole lot of people. We had a divide between yes, enough examples, and no. But for this number to be not satisfied with the examples, then there will be need for more exercises and examples. I love how AD also talked about the same data points, the same class of data, sales data we keep using every time. However, we just started, right? We're still learning the ropes. So it may be yes. So the logic, the idea is, if you understand a particular concept using one domain, you are now able to apply it to other domains when we get into them, right? So noted, practical examples will be looked into for better delivery. Yes, and hopefully if a survey comes up afterwards, when we meet these needs, so emphasis on examples, here. So basically, I think everything boils down to examples. Yeah, because for clarity, explanations seem to be clear, except for our outlier. And all that. So pretty good work, good good work done. Well done. This is practical. This is real life. Some scenarios could be, forgive me, I mostly use sales data because it is pretty much relatable and what do you call it? Yeah, easily relatable. So um I think this is good stuff. So I'm gonna recommend Team Tech to reach out to this outlier and then have more examples. Thank you, everybody, for your contribution. I hope this exercise was pretty much practical and interesting. Any questions? Okay, none. Great. So we're going to look into just a recap on the ifs function, the if function. We look at this, the ifs. I'm going to share my screen now. Oris had mentioned he would want a recap on the if. And just to mention, yeah, it may seem that we are taking peeks or perching on things here and there, but just trust that we're going to have everything collated together. Excel has a whole lot of functions. Excel has a whole lot of applications and tools. And in these sessions we're going to have, we're not going to, we can't juggle up everything all at once. But the idea is to give you workable concepts, not, all right. And the thing about data and these tools is once you have a general concept, a general knowledge of this, you would be able to relate with, you'll be able to apply it. It's very applicable. You'll be able to apply it to other concepts and other scenarios. Yup. So we'll look at the if function again. I'm curious. I'm just someone I'd want. Can someone give the if function a shot? Anybody? Pass? Someone who understands the if function so well. Well, I'll just take it. James. Okay. Okay, James, let's shoot.
Yes, sir, but I'm going to use something similar you used in explaining the last time.
You're gonna what?
I'm going to use an example that is actually similar to what you used before.
Okay, sure, please.
Okay, sir.
Are you using
Okay,
your
let's say,
computer?
yes.
That's for this call.
Okay. No.
Oh, wait. So that'd be nice to share your screen, but no
Sorry.
problem. You just guide me and
Okay, sir. So let's say, for example, you have a budget of 2,000 naira.
no, so I'll have to display whatever you're saying. So you just guide me.
Yes, sir. So you type 2,000, like you have a budget of 2,000 naira.
So I should type budget.
2,000. Okay,
I should just
budget,
type
yes.
2,000.
Okay, type budget, no problem.
Okay.
2,000 naira or $2,000.
Okay.
Then
That's $2,000.
let's say let's say
Mhm.
for last month You spent $2,500.
I don't get. How do I put that?
Okay, type $2,500.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So now to check if you exceeded the budget of 2,000 naira last month, you
Oh,
type equals to if
okay.
equals
Okay,
to
so I'm
or
getting
equals to,
I'm getting
sorry.
your gist. Okay.
Okay.
Let me call this monthly budget.
Okay.
Monthly budget. And so we have the month. We have January and let's say up to
December.
September, right?
Okay.
So we
Yes, sir.
have maybe expenses. Okay.
Let's say January
So
2,500,
okay.
February 3,000, March 1,500. Okay. Anyhow, just
400 is pretty okay. Okay.
okay, sir. So for the month of January, to check if the expenses of January exceeded the monthly budget of $2,000.
So I can call this remark sort of
Okay.
or check anyone, yeah.
Mm.
This is too yellow. Okay. So I want to check if exceeded budget bar.
Yes, sir.
So guide me.
Okay, sir. The equal to sign in the remark here. Then if,
If, yeah, okay.
then you enter. Then you go to the under expenses. You click on the $2,500. That's a
Yeah.
logical test now.
Yeah. So we have the mapping if, so we have logical test.
Yes, sir.
We have value if true and value if false. So basically it's a conditional or logical formula or function. So we want to know, basically the remark, we want to know if we exceeded budget or not. So one can even,
Okay, so can you write outside the table, write bad and good?
okay, bad, good.
Mm.
These are the remarks, right?
Yes, sir.
So if
So
I come
the
back and I do if,
if yes,
so the
the
logical
logical
test
test
is,
will be 2,500.
so if
You click okay,
this expense
is greater than
is greater than the monthly
2,000.
budgets,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Comma, value
Comma.
if true.
Yes, sir. You space then
Value if
quotation mark.
true is what? Good.
Quotation if true bad.
Okay. If it exceeded, if this is greater
Yes.
than the value is bad,
Yes, sir.
that's then else good.
Good.
Is the formula correct?
No, sir. Quotation. No, I said. I thought you had put it,
You said
sir.
quotation. Okay, sorry, no verbs.
Yes, sir.
So from where? Okay. So where do I put the
Okay.
quotation? So I should put quotation. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there.
Oh, I see what you are doing.
Then you put bad.
You are. You are. You have just outsmarted the test I wanted you to go through.
Then comma, then another quotation. That's it. You put, yeah, okay, you put comma, okay, yeah. Then, yeah. So
Okay,
you
so we
continue like
drag
that.
down. Okay, so this formula says, so for if it has a logical test, value if the test is true, value if the test is false. So here the test is the expense greater than the, what do you call it, monthly budget, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So notice something. When I go to the next line, this moved. When I go to the next, this moved. Next, this moved. Next. See, the monthly budget mapping kept moving because we did not lock the cell. And I think when you're just lucky, sometimes I don't even know why Excel makes this thing lucky. So we're just lucky that whatever syntax we are using, I mean, like for this is greater than a blank, of course. Blank is not 0. But this should be an error. Why is 1.5 greater than expenses? Of course, Excel is merciful to you. So it looked away from. So this was like just a lucky wrong formula. Ideally, if you are cell referencing, if it's not a relative reference, that means side by side and going down together. Okay, resume, please. Before you answer, let me just round up. If it's not like side by side and you're dragging together, once it's here, you want to lock it. Right? We talked about absolute referencing and relative referencing the other time. All right. So to do that, you press Control, press F4 to put or you put a dollar sign before and after to lock that cell, and then you drag it down. Okay. So here you see it maintains that cell. Okay, Resami, please. Respect.
Okay, pardon me. I wanted to ask a question
Yes,
because
please.
I saw the formula and it says um if greater than 2,000 baht, if less than 2,000 good. So what if it's 2,000? What would it be?
What if what? Oh, nice. Very good question.
What if the value be 2,000?
Let us check it out and see. Good. So the formula said if it is greater than 2,000 baht, otherwise, it did not say, the otherwise is not if it is less than, it is, I mean, it's if it is anything that is not greater than, but that will make sense why the answer is correct. If it is anything that is not less than, that is not greater than 2,000, then it is false. But very valid question, right? And we can twist this, we can twist this, we can twist this to um add how do I put it? Should I put equal, or how should I put, let's say this was a target. If this was a target, let me just change this just because I don't know the word to use for this. If this was a target, And then we had sales, maybe a sales target. I know, AJ, I know you don't like sales. Don't be angry. So sales targets, sales made or something like that. Then remark. So let's say below targets. Below targets. On targets. And above targets. Right. So there are different ways to do this. So here, for you to have all this in place, there's something we call loop. So they're going to be like multiple ifs, right? In one, I'm going to show you two ways to do this. Maybe we'll look at the ifs function and then the if function first. So if this, okay, let me add other 2000s around. So equal to if the logical test is this is greater than this. Okay, let's start with the below first. So if the sales made is less than the targets, if you notice, I'm going to lock the cell. If the sales made is greater than the sales target, is less than rather the sales target, value if true is going to be below targets. I'll just lock the right. I could also type it in double quotes, but I mean it's here, right? So that's for value if true. So if sales made is below the sales target, it's below target. We've put below target, comma, value if false. Now, after for value, so if it is not below, if value if false, we'll now do another if. So it's like, hey, check. Under value if false, we put another loop, more of a nested if. So basically, we're saying if it is false, then check again to see if the sales value is greater than the sales target. I'm going to lock it again. Value if true. So if it's greater than the sales target, it's now going to be above targets. Lock it again. Then value if false can be, I mean, if it is not below or equal, or if it's not below or above, then it's going to be equal to, right? Yeah. So I can either, for value if false, I can either select on target, but maybe to complicate things more, just so that we're sure, I will just put another if. Sorry, guys. It gets tougher, more technical. So if the sales made is equal to the sales target, remember, you locked the statics, then value if true on targets. I'm going to log this and value if false. I'll just put a double quote. That's when you put a double quote, it means blank. So if it's none of this, it's going to be blank. Then I have to put my brackets for each of the ifs. There are 3 ifs here, so I have to close the bracket for the first if, close the bracket for the second if, and close the bracket for the third if. So this is called a nested if function. Okay? So the first thing it does is that it checks the sales made to see if it is below the target. If it is true, if it is below the target, it's going to put below target. That is this N7. Then if it is false, so remember this is value if true and put below target. So value if false, check again to see if it is greater than the sales target. If it is greater, put above target. If it is not, check again to see if it's equal to the sales target. If it is true, put on target. If it's equal to, else just leave it blank. I put an equal to sign. Yeah. So I think I'll just look for one to leave blank so that we'll see if it's gonna leave it blank. Maybe put A, B, C, D. Yeah. So if I double tap this to drag it down. Yeah, apparently A, B, C, D is above targets. So strange. Okay. Yeah, so that is Excel's problem. I don't know why numbers would be above. So here we have, I don't know, did we get the logic? The formula looks pretty long and scary, right? Mr. Nima, did you get the concept behind this? No, you asked the question. So, Mr. Morris?
Yeah, it's clear.
It's clear. Oh, good.
Hello, it's clear, yeah.
Oh, nice. Resame, how about you?
It's not clear.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
It is not clear.
It is not clear. Yeah, you went to ask question. Yeah, okay, no problem. It's pretty complex. But don't worry, when you practice, you get a hang on it. So I'm going to put a remark 2 here. Let's take a look at the ifs function. I'm going to come back to explain to this, but let's see how we can also solve the same problem using the ifs function. Okay. So the ifs function has to do with multiple criteria also. So ifs we have logic test and value if true. Yeah. So I think for the ifs function, there is no value if false. You just have value if true. Logical and value if true. I'll confirm that shortly. So ifs, since there are multiple criteria, multiple criteria, as the case may be. So ifs logical test is if this is greater than, if the sales made is greater than the sales target, still lock your sales target. Value if true. Value if true would be, let me just write it manually. If it is greater, value if true is going to be what? Above target. Yeah. Then comma, if you look at the map, the next thing is logical text. So see, so there's no value if false or ifs. So logical text 2 is if this guy is less than, we've done greater than, so we'll do less than now. Is less than this. That's the second test. Comma value if true, we're going to put below targets. And logical test 3 is if this same guy is equal to this. Still lock it. Because when you drag down, value if true on targets. Close the brackets and hit enter. So before the ifs function came, we just had this nested if criteria to to work with, but ifs came and made it much easier. I don't know, Resame, do you think the ifs function is easier to grasp, where you have the logical test and the value if true, logical test and the value if true? What do you think? Or it's still confusing? Oh, he left the call. He must be pissed. Okay. But guys, do we understand the concept of where are we stuck? Let me help you out. Anybody? So I showed two ways of getting this done using the if function, nested if, nested if has to do with an if inside another if, and all. Because for the if function, we have the map. The mapping is more like logical test, value if true, value if false, right? So logical test, the value if true, if the value is true, we put what should be there. If the value is false, we have what we're saying is if the value is false, carry out another test. So if 2000 is if the sales made is less than the sales target, put below. That's value if true. If the value is false, check again to see if it is greater than the sales target. If it's greater than, put above. If it is also not greater than, then check to see if it is equal to. If it's equal to, put on target. So that is the logic. So for every if function, it has value if true, value if false. And we keep going up and up, looping it until we get our answer. But of course, for the ifs function, it makes it pretty easier. All you just need to do is your logical tests, and then the value if true, logical test, and the value if true. As many logical tests as you want to have, and the value if true. Forget about the values if false, and you have your solutions. So questions, please. The silence, is it I would go and watch the video again, or it's I understand, or it's I don't understand? I'm curious to know, please. Okay. One person understands. Messi, do you understand? Okay. So much
Yes, sir.
silence. So much silence. No wahala. Okay. Good, 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 good. So, we're going to take, okay, so it seems there's some good understanding. We're going to take, so we've looked at the ifs, looked at ifs, some ifs, all. I'm going to share examples like practice exercises. I think I'm going to like suggested we're going to have ample probably up to 3 practice exercises. We're going to increase that because practice makes perfect. Yeah. In our next class, we're going to be looking into, I'm careful not to go into more now. In our next class, we're going to be looking into lookup functions. Lookup functions. So lookup functions, we'll be looking at VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, perhaps, okay, I think if I want to put HLOOKUP here, then I'll just put VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and XLOOKUP. We're going to look into these functions. Then we are going to look into pivot tables, I think in subsequent class, and on and on. We're making progress. In the end, you'd see how all these things tie together, and I assure you, you're going to build your confidence, right? So, VLOOKUP, pretty interesting stuff. The lookup functions are, as the name implies, help us to look up data from different data sets or different tables, right? Let me just do a quick rundown. For example, we have James, and then we have, let me just use names here, Blessing. We have AD, we have Dami, and one more person, we have Morris. And then, okay, let's just call this name. Then I'll call this ID. And maybe the ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1. Okay. 11, 12, 13, and let me see. Oops. Okay. So we have name, ID, and let us say we have another data with ID and office. Or let me just say departments, for example. And I'll call this IT. I'll call this marketing. I'll call this engineering. I'll call this security. I'll call this HR, human resources. Okay. So we have this table. Let me even put it like side by side. So we have this table where we have name. I want to demarcate. So this is just a quick introduction. We would not go deep into it today. To the next class, right? Just so we look up. We have this table. We have this data with name and ID, right? Maybe employee name or staff name and staff ID. And then we have another data, another table where we have the staff ID and then the department. Okay. Now, there could be a request. Oh, we want to have the names of, perhaps it's just the data you have, and then there's a request. Oh, we want to have the names of this staff in the same table with their departments. And oh, you could at first glance say, is it not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Where is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, James, I'll copy James and put here. Oh, where is 6, 7, 8, 9, blessing and the likes of it, right? However, imagine if you had a roll of 10,000, you had 10,000 rows or like employee list of 10,000 names and IDs and all. You're not going to manually do that, right? So that's where the lookup functions come in. VLOOKUP simply means VLOOKUP simply means vertical lookup. That means you're looking up, your horizontal is left to right, vertical is up to down. So vertical, looking up data in a vertical array, that's VLOOKUP, which is mostly used. HLOOKUP is horizontal lookup, looking up values in a horizontal array, left to right. And then we have the XLOOKUP, which came much later. I think the XLOOKUP came in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And the XLOOKUP is no respecter of directions. It can be used left, right, center. It can be used in whichever way you want it to be used. Yeah, so it's something you find pretty interesting to use. So I'll just quickly show and then would call it quits for the night. So the request comes, oh, we want the name of the employee here, this space. Okay, so using the VLOOKUP function, it's going to be equal to VLOOKUP. The map, you have lookup value. That is what you are looking up. The table array, column index. I'm just going to do this. I don't want you to have your minds oversaturated tonight. So for you to be able to look up values from one table to another or from one data to another, there must be a common colon, which is called the primary key, right? The primary key, a colon similar that you can use to link together. So here we have the ID here and the ID here. So we're going to like say, hey, look up the values here in this data and then return the corresponding names. That's what lookup is all about. So for VLOOKUP, I'm going to use vertical lookup since they are in a vertical array, right? So equal to VLOOKUP, lookup value. What value am I looking up? The lookup value is what you're looking up in this other column. So I select this value, comma. Table array is the range of the table, comma. The colon index is the colon you're looking up from the table, 1, 2. 2. And then approximate or exact match, false. Like I said, oh boy, NA. I must have made a mistake somewhere. So lookup value, my lookup table. Colon index. Colon index 2. Yeah, this is supposed to work. Why am I getting an NA?
So I try 1 for the column index.
Why 1? So the column index is basically the column you're looking up. Yeah, so this is pretty much interesting. Troubleshooting. I think one should be able to explain before the. Oh, I get the issue. Yeah. So anyway, I'll explain this later on what went wrong here, because yeah, when you get to use XLOOKUP, you do not want to use VLOOKUP again. That's a fact. It's so I used VLOOKUP in concept. See it here. I'm careful not to go in so deep on this today, but if I may, I'm just careful not to. I don't want us to get so deep into it. But let me just try, and since we have time, it's a 2-hour session, right? So why not if not? So VLOOKUP looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table, exactly. So this is where the error came in. VLOOKUP looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table and then returns the value. Oh, but this is long. And then returns the value in the same row from a column you specify. By default, the table must be sorted in an ascending order. So the point is, whatever value you are looking up, the column you're looking it up must be in the leftmost column of the data set when it comes to VLOOKUP. That means if you're looking up IDs, the column where you're looking it up must be the first on your table array. Okay? So the name was first initially and then the column. When it comes to XLOOKUP, it does not give a care about the positions of anything. That's why, I use that more often. So VLOOKUP, the lookup value is the ID, the table array is DE, comma, the next is the colon index. So the colon index is the colon you're looking up the value from. Yeah. So, rather, forgive me, the colon index is the colon you want to get the data from, you want to get results from, right? So, and it's gotten from counting from your first highlight. Like now, what we want to get is the names. I want to get the names, right? So we're going to add the names of the people with this IDs. So this is the colon index. And to get the colon index number, you start counting from your first table array. So 1, 2. So if we had another colon here and then names here, and we'll highlight all the table, and we wanted the names in colon F, It's going to be 1, 2, 3. But in this instance, there are just 2 colons, and the colon index that we want to return is colon 2. So that's what they mean by colon index number. So I'm just going to put 2 here. Then we have approximate match and exact match. We'll go for exact match. We'll look at the difference between these two in our next class when we're looking deep into this. Right. And we hit enter. There we have it, James. Lesson AD Morris and all. So rather than entering this manually with our formulas, we're able to get these results. We're going to have like an elaborate example, and then you're going to see there's just so much data set. We're going to look at application of these learnings in different business domains. If you remember the earlier class, I said we'll start from sales, but once you have a graph on it, we're going to see the application in different, there's a whole lot of data sets we can work with, and we're going to work with. Just be consistent, practice, and ask questions where you don't understand, because it's a progressive learning. So there you go, VLOOKUP. We'll look at this again in the next class. You can read ahead if you want to, that would be pretty nice. And so any questions, please? No questions? Okay. Let's stop sharing.